City Council. My name's Horton Norris. I live in downtown Davenport, and I'm known as a Quad City Waterkeeper. I spoke before, several times on a lot of different things, but I was looking over this project and was wondering if there's some other way of funding it. Possibly it'd be more advantageous to the city to save it than to rely on tax structure to come in later to support this project. So I just went to under grants.gov, which we're a nonprofit, so we can apply for these types of grants. Cities can, municipalities can, and anyway, I was amazed when I typed in water reclamation projects. Bunches and bunches and bunches of grants came up. Millions and millions and millions of dollars are out there for water reclamation projects that are going on all over the country. You can go to this particular site, and I printed off just a few of them, but a lot of them are really right on target for what you want to do here. So the way I look at it, you ought to start at the highest elevation and work your way down. If you got a water problem or a water issue, you ought to start at the highest elevation, fix that problem, work your way down. Chicago's having a lot of the same infrastructure problems. They reported a $7 billion plan to fix crumbling infrastructure. It goes on to say Chicago is embarking on a sweeping U.S. $7 billion plan to transform the city's aging infrastructure, including a U.S. $1.4 billion investment in water and sewer projects. And a lot of that's coming from grants like this, or federal grants that come from the government. The taxpayers pay for it. Reading on, it says the program is slated for one of the largest infrastructure investments in Chicago's history, will touch nearly every aspect of the city's infrastructure network. Goes on to say, less robust, says Chicago's efforts to control the routine sewer overflows and often discharge of mix of sewage into stormwater in Lake Michigan and Chicago River. These are likely to become more frequent as climate change intensifies storms and floods. Goes on to say, but even as a state agency work on large-scale engineering projects, more and more experts acknowledge the need for small-scale green infrastructure projects that will allow storm runoff to seep into the ground rather than drain into the sewers. If you go on down to about the grants again, it says eligibility is local governments, municipal governments, county governments, or other local governments with jurisdiction over local and land use decisions. Eligible Indian tribes and federally recognized Indian tribes and Alaska Native corporations. Qualified nonprofit organizations eligible for this opportunity are organizations that are consistent with Section 170H3 of the Internal Revenue Code, which that's what we are. We are 501c3. So I could apply for these actually for the city, maybe not just for this project, for a lot of other projects that you got going on that you need some assistance with. Obviously, you got $62 million that you're going to need help to complete the projects that you're projecting. So maybe I can help alleviate some of that pressure and help you get assistance from the federal government. At the same time, I'd like to start with saving this project up here. I'd like to have the opportunity to try to write for one of these grants. This one in particular that I'm reading about, there's $3,150,000 in this particular grant that we could write for. It says there's a $400,000 ceiling on an individual request. But if you can just go on page after page after page of things that could apply to helping with this. This one particular one was by the Forest Service, and it goes on to explain the project. It says it's from the Forest Service Funding Instrument Grant Environmental Natural Resources, and it says the category is the opportunities provides financial assistance grants to local governments, Indian tribes, and qualified nonprofit organizations to establish community forest. Estimate total is $3,150,000. Total community forest program funding anticipated for awards made under this program of $3.15 million. Individual grant application may not exceed $400,000. But anyway, and the contact information's here, and I've heard a lot of people in Waterkeepers that have applied for these and got these particular grants to help their city out or community or whatever. But I'd like to reconsider the zoning and give this a chance because I believe the funding would be there. I think it would be a great place to start your water reclamation project and start working on all that groundwater and broken storm drains and Anyway, the supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of our planet, as John F. Kennedy said it. As a spokesman for the river and the wildlife and the residents, I'd like to ask where the wildlife go. When you take this down, where do they go? There's no place up there for them to go. I have a bunch of students here from St. Ambrose. They've done a video on it. They've got 287 petition signers. You got residents that complaining about they bought their places and they paid taxes for years, and now the whole game's going to change. They're ready to retire. But anyway, thank you for consideration, and hope it works out either way.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? I think there's a lady ahead of you.